Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome in. It's Class 50 night, especially for Animal and others that have wanted the Class 50 forever. And we haven't got it in TSW. And it didn't come as a loco DLC. So we're going back to TS Classic. And we're going to do this one, settling in on the Settle to Carlisle route. It's actually a full run of the route from the Carlisle end down to Settle. So yeah, hope everyone's good. Who's in? Animal. Animal's been camped outside with his sleeping bag outside the shop door for about 24 hours. So we knew he would be here. Ron Wirral, good evening. Boynes, good evening. He's gone from Bourbons back to Boynes again, look. He's dropped the biscuit theme. G Dave, how are you? Yeah, he's been waiting. He's been waiting longer than this morning, definitely. Si, good evening. David Drives. Another David signing in. Yeah, good evening. If I just say good evening, David, I only have to say hello to about 3 of you then. There's only 3 of you left. Josh, good evening. Mike, good evening. The other David, David Smith. AC, how are you doing? Train Views. Everyone's in tonight. Everyone's in. Yeah, so let's just do some Class 50 just as a change from TSW because we've actually covered a lot of TSW and I want to try and, mix it up a little bit as we go. Hentis, how you doing? Good evening to you. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, let's do a bit of large logo, shall we? I saw GE Dave. I saw your little comment before about using the Rodney 50. This is Neptune, this one. I don't know if Rodney's in the game, but I saw what you did there with the comment. I had to Google the number that you put. I'm not like you, I don't know more by number, so I saw what you did though. Thunderbolt, good evening. Hope you're well. Right. I've got to remember the keys now. It's been a while since I've been on TSC. So, good afternoon, driver. Today you're in charge of the 1500 service to Leeds and we'll be driving this as far as Settle, where another driver will board and complete the journey south. Passengers are ready to board, so press T right away to let them on. Put your headlights on. Make sure you're ready to depart on time. So, we've got stops at Appleby and Settle for this one. As the 37 comes through, the standard 37. It's horrible, isn't it, when you've had the AP one? Oh, no. And of course, this Class 50 as well is the standard one. This is not the AP version. But I'm hoping there is another sale. I think David Drives, you told me there was a sale for one day, like a flash sale, and I was away, so I missed it. But I'm hoping there's another one at the end of the month. And if there is, I might get the 50 because this one's alright, but it's not super. Anyway, let's get sorted, shall we? Put that in forwards. It said get the headlights on. We also need the wipers. Let's do them at that side as well. It's a wet day in Carlisle. So if you've only been playing the Preston Carlisle route in TSW, you'll be familiar with this end of Carlisle station because we've been here quite a bit over the last few weeks. But we're going a different direction this time once we get underway. It's a bit wet out there, he says. You're not kidding. Mel, thanks for subbing. I thought you already subbed, Mel. But it's popped up, so thank you for that. Hope you're doing alright. Nick, good evening. You doubt your puny little laptop could run TSC? You might be surprised. Have a word with... I was going to say have a word with Dave. I can't say that anymore. If Dave Melody comes in, he's running it on a laptop. I think Mr. Water has run it on a laptop in the past. if I remember correctly. So it depends what spec you've got. Yeah, Sai says probably could. Matthew, good evening. How you doing? Laserjet, I think I said hello to you, but in case I didn't. Your favourite Class 50 was Leviathan. That's a great name, isn't it? That sounds like a powerful name, that Leviathan. Right away, driver. Right, okay. So let's do that, shall we? As we're ready to go. Brakes off. Off we go, down the Settle Carlisle. The AP50 was done with Bossman Games. It's expensive but worth it in your opinion? Yeah, it's 29 quid. And somebody told me it went down to 19 quid in that last sale, but I missed it. So I will pick it up. The guy was speed marching down the platform. There's a lot of that. There is a lot of that. They march, yeah. Swinging their arms. Right, we got 30 miles to Appleby, so settle in. There we go. It's still a nice looking game, even though it's not as polished as TSW. I still really enjoy this. Even you've got a soft spot for it, Dave, have you? For the Hoover. There's quite a few of you have mentioned the 50 over the last few weeks. So, you know, it was worth us just paying homage even to this basic version, I think. It's not as nice a name as Ark Royal. Yeah, I guess so. Ark Royal's equally as good. So up here is the main line where you've been going in the 87 up there. So we're going off to the left here. Just so you can get your bearings. Hopefully the sound is all okay. You bought ETS the other day, so I just need to figure out how to get the wheel and foot pedals set up. I'm still messing around with mine now. The pedals and everything, that is. The pedals are all right. It's the configuring the wheel and setting it up for all the different buttons and whatnot. I've kind of got half and half going at the moment. Some stuff is still on the keyboard. Is it me or the graphics a bit bland on this compared to TSW? Well, this is older, this is like 15, coming up 16 years old. So this was, you could call this the forerunner to TSW. So the graphics are a little bit, you know, a little bit down on what TSW is. Have we got all the bridges in today? Well, Settle to Carlisle is a steam route, so I would hope all the bridges are in today. The reason the bridges are missing on the other one is because it's it's a community created route, and so it's made up of lots of different bits and pieces of DLC. And it's like anything else, it's a bit of a lottery whether you've got them or not. Yeah, I think that water as well. I think it holds up very well. And of course I have got the weather pack on, the AP weather pack. I've got the track pack. I've got the signals pack as well. So it isn't bad. I haven't got the trees, as you can tell. These are just the standard trees. Somebody did say, and you guys can probably back it up, that the tree pack makes this Settle to Carlisle look like a different route. So I was considering getting that, but I don't know if they're a bit... On some routes, they seem, when I'm watching videos, they seem to flash a little bit, the trees. Don't know if that's been your experience. Dave M, how are you? Day one, Dave. I'm going to give it the beans in a second once we get to the 60. We'll give it a little bit now. There we go. There she goes. It's your favourite local jointly with the Valente HST. Used to spot them at Newton Abbott back in the 80s. It's pretty good. Laserjet, your best 50s, or Hercules and Defiant. See, they've all got great names, haven't they? It's just Streamlabs have a Dave counter. You've got this 50 on TSC. Yeah, it's quite good. Oops. Sorry, chaps. Is that without using any cheats as well, Water? You've got all that money. Good, you must be hammering it. You took a pacer from Brighton to London Victoria, then back to Brighton. I bet that took you a while, didn't it? Oh, you use free roam. Excellent. Yeah, free roam's quite good. It is quite good. Good evening, Jonathan. How you doing? It makes a great noise. It does. It does. I've got to admit, a TSW version would be quite nice, wouldn't it? All nice and polished. Because this one's alright, but, you know, it is what it is. That's the 60 miles per hour. You wonder if the 50 will be the big reveal. I still can't make my mind up what that's going to be, you know. I'm kind of torn between the fact that I don't think they'll announce something massive just in a forum post. But I could be wrong. I really don't know. I don't know what it could be. I'm really not sure. If you base it on everything so far, it's all been screenshots and it's been information about things we already know about, pretty much. So I don't know. I noticed some of the ambassadors have asked and said, can we have a heads up what it's going to be on the 20th? And Dovetail said, nope. You'll find out when everyone else finds out. So we can't even get any info out of them. So it might that might indicate that it is something decent. I don't know. Anyway, we haven't got long to find out. That's a week on Friday, isn't it? So yeah. Right, so he's off to speed a little bit. You watched a 20-minute video of the Glorious starting from cold. Never seen so much. You're really into it, aren't you, Animal? Proper into it. You played the scenario with the 33 yesterday. Oh, do you mean the West Coast Mainline South one? That one from Creators Club. Yeah, it's quite good. Quite a few people have downloaded the Virgin Pendo one as well, that we played on Friday night. I think it's got about 90 subscribers to it so far, which is not bad. Yeah, what do you think of that route to the airport, Dave? Melody, that is. I realised that was your one of your local patches. I quite like the idea that Piccadilly's gonna look a bit more lived in, and you're able to walk around now and go onto the concourse and things. I mean, a lot of people will say, well, why do I want to do that anyway? You know, when I'm just there to drive the trains, which is fair enough. But I mean, if you want the whole experience, the world in Train Sim World, then it's nice to get out and have a walk around, I think. Looking at those screenshots though, like I said in that video earlier, I don't think that's far off. And you could be right, Jonathan, that the big reveal... Well, I don't know about the remastered line to Reading, but the reveal might be that one of the things they've already showed us is actually coming out sooner than we thought, or something like that. Maybe on the 20th they'll say, guess what everyone, the Great Western Express remaster is available today, download it now. It could be that, I don't know. So it might not, the 20th might not actually be something new, it just might be a release date. So, I don't know. A few of you have never seen 50s. You downloaded the Pendo runs, but they didn't show up in the game. Oh, have you got... Yeah, I think... I don't know. You can have quite a few subscriptions, Animal, I think. You must have to have a lot to be... for them not to appear. Good evening, Andrew. How you doing? 156 Andrew. Stace, good evening. Hope you're doing alright. Lamore, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hope you're alright. Gary, good evening. What's the limit on Xbox then, Animal, just out of interest? I think there's a limit on everything, but I don't know what it is. I've only got a few, I must admit. Certain, and I think most of the things I've got are liveries rather than scenarios. But there's certain ones I've kept on for a long time. Others I've kept them for a bit and thought nah, and took them off, you know. But I tend to play more of the stock type stuff. First time you've been in for the streams? Well, you're more than welcome. Thanks for coming in. Oh god, she's coughing her guts up. That's all we wanted to know. Animal's not finished his tea yet. Notice some of these original Train Sim Classic locos all have this kind of mirrored screen, like reflective screen. Which is a bit annoying. Oh, it's 100, is it, on PS5? If you download them on your phone, it overrides the limit. That's interesting. Right, so I've got 20 miles to Appleby. I think the Class 50 itself is smuts for animal. It doesn't need any other type. Good thing is Christmas is only a few days away. It certainly is. It certainly is. That's crept up out of nowhere, hasn't it? Oh, you read a good one last night, did you? Don't tell Animal. He'll be at the library tomorrow. Yes, good suggestion that, Dave. Just delete a couple of older ones or ones that you don't think you're going to play, Animal, and see if they are in the queue. I ran the Virgin Trains one again. I ran it on the PS5 though over the weekend for a change. Quite enjoyed it again. Animal. The weather's grim. Let's have a look at the briefing again. So we're due at Appleby 15:39, so we've got about 20 minutes, and then we got settled sort of what, 50 minutes later, about 90 minutes all in all. Wow, what's happened with this tunnel? Big split in the tunnel. Got it down to 43, but it still says you've got too many. I think I have somewhere in the region of maybe 20 to 25, I think. I tell you, the other thing I've noticed as well is that between playing on the PC and the PS5, uploaders' names are different. So I noticed on the PC version, the guy that did the Virgin livery, I think he's called Spikester. But if you get the same livery on the PS5, he's just called Spike. I don't know how that. I mean, it's one upload, so he's not uploaded it twice. So I don't really get how that works. But that was a bit odd. Do you know if there's a document somewhere that tells you what German routes have got LZB on them? I don't know of a document. I don't think Jason's in. He's gone to the football. But Jason might know a website that gives that info. Has TSW Mania not got that on? don't think we're going to see much of the route today with this weather. It doesn't tell you at the bottom what station is every time you go through a station. I don't know the route enough yet to know. Lazenby. Is where we are. You've been doing the old German routes today, trying to see if LZB is on them. Yeah, well, using the LZB is a fairly recent-ish thing, isn't it? Did it come with TSW4 with oh god, I get mixed up with all these German routes, honestly. Whatever the high-speed route was that came with TSW4. I think that was the first one, wasn't it? I don't know if it's implemented before that. George Lazenby. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Munich was it Munich? You may be right, I don't know. You're right though, a list like that will be handy. Thank you all, as usual, for coming in. Got 30 in at the moment. Always appreciated. And you think it might be on Colne Arken too. You could be right. You could be right. Sean Canary. Evening, Daniel. How you doing? No, better to do on a Monday night, says Bones. Yeah. We may as well do a bit of trains on a Monday night. Why not? I think we'll mix up a bit of TS Classic and a bit of Train Sim World. We've kind of really only done Train Sim World since 5 came out. But I've got so many routes on this that I've not even played yet. We might as well cover those too. Plans for Christmas? Not a lot really. Just a rest from work, I reckon. What about you? A rest is what it's about, I think. I think this is one of the oldest routes, isn't it? It's not the oldest route, is it? Settled to Carlisle. Request a route Monday, that's not a bad idea actually. We've still got 11 miles to Appleby. Settled to Carlisle was on the original Microsoft version. Oh, it's quite old then, yeah. I mean, it looks older, doesn't it? I remember coming on this before I had the AP weather, etc. And I thought it looked really old. And you're right, what you said before about the AP packs really tightened up a bit. They look so much better after I added those. You're just going to coast through Christmas and look forward to Preston to Carlisle. Very good route. Although a couple of things are not working for me on the PS5. I'm going to say me and Dave Melody were chatting about this. Some things we just can't complete, like the current collection scenario. Can't do that on PS5. It derails coming out of the yard, even though the points are correctly set. So there's a few things like that. There's another one. I can't remember what it is. Another one. I think with the 31 tells you you're gonna walk over and get into the 31, but actually the 31 isn't there, it just spawns you in some random place. So there's a few things need fixing on it, but from a service perspective most of it is working alright, I think. A request stop. I don't know where the stations are. A request stop needs 20 miles warning, yeah. That's true. I should say the current collection, I've not tried it on the PC to see if it works on the PC and if it's just a PlayStation thing. I should really try and see if it works. But it is a pain when you want to try and complete all the scenarios. I saw your comment about that animal, about West Coast Mainline South keep crashing. And I've not been on the forums. Is it being reported on the forums as well? The same? Is that happening to everybody? No, we're not meant to stop yet. Appleby's the first one. Yeah, since you bought the Pendolino, I wonder what would cause issues. I wonder why the Pendo would cause issues, particularly. Oh, what's this? Nice. Little rail tour going on. Right, 7 miles. Since Preston to Carlisle came out, you've not played anything else. I know where you're coming from there, Jonathan, with that. What did I go on to the other night? I ran something the other night. I got halfway through it and decided I got bored, so I saved it and went back to West Coast Mainline. What the heck was it? I can't remember what route it was. I'll remember in a minute. Anyway, I got bored. I decided it just wasn't the same experience as Preston to Carlisle, and I wasn't as happy about it. So I swapped back. I think it was one of the American routes. I don't know. I play that many. Passed Appleby ages ago. Not here. I didn't. Still got 6 miles. If it's doing things like that on Xbox, you might find it's just generally some core issue that they've introduced, but it might just be manifesting itself on West Coast Mainline South. I didn't know you could do that. Pause things on Xbox whilst you're playing something else. That's interesting. Right, let's have a little bit of break on. That's what it's telling me to do. Good evening, Peter. You thought you saw the thumbnail wrong. Could have swore it was a 50. Nah, it can't be. They have the haters. No, I think everyone likes the 50, to be honest. That's why I thought I'd run it tonight. I think many of you like the 50. I don't care. I'll run it. I don't mind. Oh, ECML and LC have bombed on you as well. Right, let me just save this. Just in case. Whilst you're talking about crashes. We don't want a 50, says Dave. The two most requested on this channel are the 50 and the Deltic. Always the 50 and the Deltic come up. We've run the Deltic before in Tis Classic on stream, but I think we'll do the Deltic again. We'll do a longer run in the Deltic, I think, next time. Up the East Coast, perhaps. So we'll have a Deltic night as well. I mean, the Deltic is just the standard model as well. Don't think AP do a Deltic, do they? Don't think they do. Maybe they've missed a trick there if it's that popular. 90 says G Dave. Yeah, we definitely do a 90 as well. This is the thing, you see, and the 90 I've got the AP version, so I think we'll do all these, you know, over the next couple of months. 90, 91, Deltic, and there's a few others. See, I would play the AP 37 every week because I really like that as well, but you'd soon get bored of that. Right, we just got under 3 miles to go. Yeah, it does roar. Yeah, it's still not bad. It just inside looks like, in here, this is passable, isn't it? It looks alright on the inside. The Deltic, I don't know if the Deltic was a really early loco in TSC, but it looks very, very plain on the inside. It requests a route or loco Monday. I'll have to start putting like a little poll up for a few days with a few suggestions, and then you guys can maybe vote on it, and then we'll just go with that. That might be a good way to do it. Right, so we're due in at 15. We are going to be in at 15:40, and we're due in at 15:39. I've completely not been looking at the timings, but it's not bad. The Delta came with the York Newcastle. I think it did. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I don't mind some of the standard stuff that comes with the routes. The problem is when you've had some of the AP stuff, you feel a bit spoiled, and it's sometimes a bit difficult to go back, you know. Deltics were the earliest locals that took over from Steam. I didn't know that. You can't decide if you want the Glossop line. You definitely don't want the Suffragette line. Why do you not want the Suffragette line, Nick? I think if you get the Glossop line, then obviously if you're going to get the airport line, then you'll be able to route hop between the two, I expect. But if you get the Suffragette line, then you'll obviously get all the layering in to West Coast Main Line South once it's working for you. And then it'll help as well when the Mildmay route comes out, if you're going to get that. It'll all start connecting up together, won't it then? But I would agree with Dave that out of the two, I like both routes, but I think if I had to choose one, I think I'd get the Glossop one first. Are you allowed to request, or are you banned? What do you want to request, Animal? This is Appleby. Mike says 55 Doncaster to Edinburgh is a nice ride out. Yeah, we should do some of that East Coast stuff, shouldn't we? We spent a lot of time on the West Coast. These stations are done up quite nice, aren't they? I mean, I have been down the Settle Carlisle a couple of times in real life, but it was a long time ago. I haven't been in recent years. Right, let's get the doors open. You drove 55016 from Liverpool Street to Cambridge, nice. It's suffragette city. Yeah, Cardiff route. Some good stuff coming up, isn't there, really? When you think about it. Right, Settle is next. It's our final stop. But it's 40 miles, so it's a decent run. Last time you went along Settle to Carlisle was 2005. Mine was way before that. Mine was probably when I was a kid. Way back in time, obviously. It's got a bit brighter. I thought the weather was starting to clear up, but it's still a bit grey and grim. Liverpool straight to Ipswich in a 91. Yeah, we could probably do that. Remember all these runs. I think I've got most of the routes. A bunch of savages embarking. I can't comment, I've never been to Barking. But definitely Liverpool Street to Ipswich. Definitely we can do that. I fancy that actually myself. Is Ipswich as far as you can go on the Great Eastern Main Line in the game? I can't remember. Celtic Lime Street to York. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Good evening, Phil. How you doing? First time catching a live stream. You're more than welcome. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're all good. Weatherspoons is a bit rough in Barking. Are they not all rough? Weatherspoons are all a bit rough, aren't they? You go to Felix store. Is that the new version? I'm trying to remember if I've got the new version from was it Alan Thompson that did it? Did he do an updated version? Can't remember. If he has, and I haven't got it, I've still got my subscription to Alan Thompson, so you don't know which version you've got. I'll have to check. When I've finished this run, I'll just have a quick check which one I've got. So I can't remember. Over the last sort of 12 months, I've had a habit of just adding in anything that I can find, and just like building up the whole TSC sort of database. So it's possible I've added it and not realised. Hey Peter, you've only just logged on. The missus has a bust ankle. Ouch! You thought today's release had been a settle to Carlisle plus a Hoover. Well, that would be good, but if it looked like this in TSW, you'd probably complain. But we'll take it for tonight. Good evening, Farah. How are you doing? Give it some beans, because we're never going to arrive on time. We carry on like this. Sections of this route are pretty wild, aren't they? Never arrive on time anyway. You're a cheeky sod. I have a duty occur to these passengers, apart from when we're going to Oxenholme, that is. Sam, good evening. No, this isn't the AP one. No, this is the standard one. What's the dream loco to be in TSW? Not sure. All of them. I always wanted the Pendo, and we've got it now. I'll be honest with you. Making some noise, this loco. This route should end up in Leeds. Yeah, did they ever... nobody on Steam Workshop ever did an extension, did they? That would have been quite good. Deltic, he says in capitals. Yeah, we just had the Deltic discussion before you joined, Peter. Hope your wife's ankle's alright, by the way. She wasn't on board, was she? She tried to get off at an Oxenholme when I was driving. You want a 57/3 so you can haul the Pendolino to the scrapyard. Dave wants Deltic. See, Dave Smith says 91 and a Deltic. Doc Vibe Check, good evening. You wouldn't mind a remastered 66? I've not heard anybody asking for a 66, normal or remastered. So that's a first. If you saw my little video earlier, you probably heard me quip about the 66, because I knew a few of you, you know, with the airport DLC, when it said you will also get a 66, it sounded funny to me. It was like it was saying you were getting one because you've never had one before and you'd be really pleased about it. It'd just be another one to add to the massive list of 66s. I don't know which one does what these days. There's that many of them. See, Phil wants a Deltic. Animal wants a 66, yeah. A 58 would be a good addition. Evening CJ, how you doing? You should have a +1 YouTube channel. You always miss the first hour. You need to set your watch, buddy. Yeah, have you not got the bell set? Because I set this up yesterday. Unless you mean you're at work and that's why you missed it, rather than you missed it because you didn't know it was on. There's always the on demand afterwards. This weather has not relented at all. Deja vu, yeah. There's always a bit of deja vu. The rail and treatment train's quite good, yeah, that's quite a nice one. Because of the kind of dirty weathering on the side, it's quite good. Exeter, Plymouth, along the seawall at Dawlish, late 60s, early 70s, all the diesel hydraulics. Yeah, see, we've not... we could run a bit of that as well, at some point. They're all good suggestions, these. That's providing you don't miss TSW too much, because obviously we'll be doing that in T's Classic until we ever get a time where all this stuff comes out in TSW. Remember, if it isn't on the roadmap, good game on Saturday, says CJ. It might have been for you guys in the end, but we should have nicked it. It was too long for us to defend. We can't defend all that time, unfortunately. Probably a draw was a fair result in the end. You did a rail tour on the Birmingham line with a double-header 37. It was a nice run, but the final mile was a challenge downhill on the steep gradient. Was that the Licky incline? In which case, yeah, it is a bit of a drop if you're coming that way. That 37 doing. I've never seen so many 37s on a route, honestly. Is that better when I go inside? You can hear me better. It is noisy outside. And that's the other thing. It doesn't actually sound that bad, does it? For you know, one of the stock locos. It's not got a bad sound pack on it. You did the Mine Top Oil scenario with limited fuel area. That was a novelist. Yeah, I've not run that for a long time, but I know what you mean. It was a bit different, wasn't it? Seat of the pants type stuff. Hoover are better than Dysons. Oh god. Don't all start comparing Hoovers now. What class is the Dyson? If the Hoover is a 50, what class is the Dyson? A 206 or something. You can't clean the carpet with a Bison. No, a Bison's more likely to mess your carpet up than clean it. Cornwall to Edinburgh, that's a bit of a trek with a double-headed Hoover. That might have to be a daytime stream, like all day. You've been trying to get that Swansea to London since time began, Baron. Got a shark. Oh god. Super Sprinter, how you doing? Right, we've still got 25 miles to go. Ratty, how you doing? Good evening, 50 fans, says Ratty. I think, well, I hope everybody's in that's been requesting a 50. for the last few weeks. You liked Henry, yeah. Who was your favourite character from the original? The original Thomas. I'm not on about all this new stuff with all these like locals and stuff from around the world and all that carry on. The original ones from the books and from the Ringo Starr series. I used to quite like Donald and Douglas, mate. And Diesel. I quite like Diesel because he was he was like a baddie, wasn't he? Diesel. Always sneaking about. James, says Animal. James the Red Engine. Toby the Tram Engine, says Dave. Actually, when the kids were younger, we went to Thomasland, which is at Drayton Manor. Oh, I loved that when I was a kid. You pleased your son by driving Gordon over Shap the other day. You got him from Creators Club. See, you can find all sorts on Creators Club. Percy, says CJ. Yeah, what's that all about? He was always the Fat Controller. No, he's Topham Hatt. I mean, yeah. I mean, what they should have done is just made him slimmer. That's what they should have done. Put him on a diet or something. Yeah, Johnny Morris. Oh, you met him, did you? Yeah, I used to watch him when I was a kid. He used to have the old... like chimps, didn't he? And he did the voices and all that stuff. I remember. Yeah. God, that's a long time ago. Animal Magic. Was it Animal Magic? Is that what it was called? With Johnny Morris. That's the top of that was a bit dumb. If he was a... Oh yeah, they did get a thin controller. I was going to say, but if he became thin, it wouldn't sound the same, would it, when he said, "You are causing confusion and delay." Now, he wouldn't do that voice if he was a bit thinner. And it wouldn't sound the same. Train Views, how you doing? Animal Magic, yeah. I'm not reading that out, Peter. No way. You're not going to catch me out with that. I don't remember the Animal Magic theme tune. I would within a few bars of hearing it, I bet. Yeah, the PC Brigade. Honestly, is larger than normally is offensive. I didn't hear about that one. Right, we've still got 20 miles. Ploughing through the scenery. Who said Diesel 10 Super Sprinter? Was Diesel 10 one of the original ones? Did he not come a bit later? Can't remember. You're right, Nick. I mean, so did I. And I'll tell you what I had as well. I had all the... you used to get the little pin badges off the labels as well from the jam and the marmalade and stuff. Yeah, you cut those out, didn't you? And we've still got a load of them. Probably collector's items now, actually. Oh yeah, Daisy, she was a DMU, weren't she? She was like a 101. Right, we have a 30 coming up. You had the badges as well. Yeah, my favourite one, there was one on a skateboard. I quite like that one. I remember that one distinctly. But I don't know if you remember before the badges, you could get the... like they were in a band. One was playing the drums, one was playing the guitar. You got them all separately and put them together, and they're off the back of the labels as well. I bet people pay a fortune for them now. My mum's still got them at her house somewhere. Probably get you arrested. Yeah, who is it? Who is it who gets bricked up in the tunnel? Was that Gordon? When he was mourning in one of them, so they bricked him up because he wouldn't do any work. I always remember that one. And the, let's call him the slightly plump controller, he's standing on a box. They built a wall in front of him in the tunnel, so he couldn't get out. And he stood on a box. Was that Henry? Right. It was one of the bigger ones that got stuck. Yeah, Henry in the tunnel. There you go. It all seems a bit drastic. Couldn't they have shunted him out of there or something? Instead they built a wall and completely like shut the line nearly. Used to collect the coins, used to get in the packets of tea. Yeah, you used to stick them in with a glue pen in the old books. Brook Bond. Was it Brook Bond before it was PG Tips? Or was it PG Tips by Brook Bond? I can't remember. I know what you mean though. He didn't want to work in the weather. And he had a new paint job. So he didn't want to get his paint dirty or something. There was always a lot of that. He had some special Welsh call. See, you're making me want to go on YouTube now and watch some of those Ringo Starr ones. Oh, it was James who had a new page. Oh God, see, I'm mixing it all up. That's how long it is since. Hey, up, look out, another one. Even to this day, the walling up of Henry was harsh. I'm gonna have to rewatch that episode now before we meet again. I've told you this before, Dave. Tea does not grow in Yorkshire. I must admit, I still have PG Tips during the day. In the morning, I have the Twinings English breakfast because it's quite strong. I quite like that in the morning. Then during the day, I'm on the PG Tips. Let's just coast it into this tunnel. Oh, Ivor the Engine. Yeah, I used to love that. Yeah, I did used to love that. What was his driver called? Di Jones. That's original, isn't it? Yeah, I used to love that. Quite simple, wasn't it? Idris the Dragon? That sounds vaguely familiar. I'll be honest, my all-time favourite from that era was Bod. Well, I don't think there's any trains in Bod. Right, this is quite a steep gradient, going down to 30. Is that right, Peter? I didn't know that. I've probably got the original book somewhere. I'll have to look that up. God, I didn't know he'd put something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can see why that's offensive. Or Jones the Steam, Dye Station, so I'm getting them mixed up. I forgot there was a single track section. Is this the viaduct? Is that why? The riverhead. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Pretty impressive. I think this whole route would be worth making in TSW. We were talking about it the other week, weren't we? When we were talking about what they could do outside of Carlisle. Just trains could do this route. Go on then, Nick, what was it? Ten and a half miles to go to settle. It's a pity it don't go through to Leeds. It'd be a very good run, that, wouldn't it? Chattanooga Choo Choo. Right, we're underway again. Now all the train spotters have seen us on the viaduct. He was a Glenn Miller fan. Was it Glenn Miller who went missing in a plane in the English Channel, going between shows at the end of the Second World War? Am I thinking of somebody else? It was some big band guy like that. Was it Glenn Miller? I watched a documentary on it once a few years back. I'm sure it was Glenn Miller. Punch it, Chewie. We can only punch it up to 60, that's the thing. Oh, it was him, yeah. I think the documentary was about trying to find out how it happened and all that carry on. They didn't find him, did they? I don't think they found him. Oh god, Peter's off, look. Yeah, I think that was Buddy Holly, was it? And the Big Bopper and his mob. Get me caught. Yeah, Richie Valens was the other one. You're kidding, Animal? God, that's an unlucky strike, isn't it? Right, we're not doing too bad. 6.5 to go. We'll be a couple of minutes late by the time we get there. It's fine. But at least we've had the Class 50. Might be a while before we get it in TSW. I bet we do eventually. But who knows when. So you come in here to talk about trains and you end up talking about old music, 70s TV, biscuits, all sorts. Anybody watching on demand will be like, what is going on? You can see the 50 being saved for extra Waterloo in toothpaste NSE livery, yeah. I've actually got that livery in TS Classic. I noticed there is a scenario for that. Yeah, but if it's NSE, don't forget, if it's livery designer compatible, then everyone will do every livery then. In fact, talking about livery designer, is the 31 still not available in livery designer? I don't think it is. Because the 31's calling out for a few liveries as well. I think we could only have the BR blue at the minute. Your nickname at school was Joe 90 because you had a blonde hair and wore glasses. And the fact when you went home, Nick, and you sat in like a little bird cage thing that spun round had nothing to do with it. What was that thing you used to sit in? That's why we come here, it's about trains, but we go off at a tangent. Captain Scarlet. Oh, I forgot, yeah, 33's not in there as well, and 33's been out forever, hasn't it? 33's been out years. And I mean, that green and cream livery for that 33's alright, but even that deserves at least a BR blue. Joe 90 on existence, mate, and it just glasses look cool. It was like a Terry's chocolate orange. Yeah, you're right. Animal was talking about Penfold the other night, actually. You got Penriff confused with Penfold because it started with Pen. Right, we're approaching Settle. I need to remember just to check the Great Eastern Main Line just before we leave and see what I've got there. $31 in rail freight, yes, because with the AP version, there's quite a lot of liveries for that, including rail freight. I quite like the yellow one, the Network Rail. Now you're in H. Penfold. Horrific, yeah. You're right, he did. Danger Mouse, that was David Jason, wasn't it, that? Did the voice of Danger Mouse, if I remember correctly. Oh, it was Terry Scott, was it? Wow, I would never have guessed it was Terry Scott, the other guy. Right, this is Settle. And that was the Class 50 special request. It's quite nice to drive it, actually. I'll be honest with you. And I've not driven it for quite a long time. I think I've driven it once or twice when I bought it. And not again. So, yeah, good recommendation there, I think. You've now safely, note the word safely, arrived at Settle. You're being relieved here, oops, matron, and we'll travel back to Carlisle on another service later this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the trip. Certainly did. It says scenario incomplete. I never quite understand that. It says we missed a target. So I don't know how that works, because we stopped everywhere that we said we would. Rail engines experienced. Class 86 259 Les Ross. Did you see that? I didn't see that. No idea. I had no idea where the Les Ross was. Must be right. Is that when we saw it? After 1 minute 47? Maybe it was in the other side of Carlisle. I just didn't see it. Right, let's have a quick look in here. Oh, I have got the Great Eastern Main Line, look. That was done by ATS. But I haven't got the Flirt. I think I've got the 90. And that's it. I don't think I've got... No, I've not got the 321. I haven't got the 317. But I have got the 90. So that's going Ipswich to London Liverpool Street. So we could do that at some point if you fancy that. In the 90. That's a decent run, 110 minutes. So that's one thing we can do. Let me just have a quick look what else I've got in here. All the old standard ones I've got. There's the original one. Let's have a look what's in here. The 66s are all AP. So there's quite a few of those we could do. The 360, that's an original that came with the route, isn't it? And then 66s. So yeah, that's just 66s and 360s. So I think what we will do next time is we'll do this one, the Class 90. We'll do that next time, shall we? In the AP Class 90. Why not? That'll be a good one. Exeter Plymouth with a hydraulic. Yeah, let's just have a look what I've got. Let's have a look what else I've actually got in here before we disappear. 5 circle. We've played quite a bit of that on TSW. London to Brighton. That's a good route. Wessex Main Line. I quite like that one. Hope Valley's also a good one. Portsmouth Direct. Riviera. Let's have a look what we've got in the Riviera. HST. So they're AP HSTs as well. What's the longest one? 55 minutes. Paynton and Exeter St David's, that one. That's going back the other way, Exeter to Paynton. Quite a nice livery, that Great Western. So we've got a few options, haven't we? Yeah, it must be all stations. I bet it is. Yeah. So shall we? We'll book that in for a future one, and we'll book in something on the Riviera in the HST. We could probably do a couple of them because they're only like 55 minutes and half an hour, whatever. We've got the Swallow there as well. 1991. We'll just check what other routes I've got. Let me go backwards this time. We're up to this, weren't we? That's a good one. That's a free one, by the way. South Lancashire and North Cheshire. If you guys are playing it, you can pick that up. That's free. What else have we got? East Coast Main Line. Let's have a quick look what we got on the East Coast Main Line. We have got... We could go on the Azuma for 2 hours up the East Coast Main Line. York to King's Cross we've got. Class 90, Belgian Rail. That's quite a nice livery, that, isn't it? I think we spotted that the other week. I think you called that out, GE Dave. The Belgian. It passed us somewhere, didn't it, the other week? That's 150 minutes, that one. That is King's Cross to Leeds in the 91. In the 90, replacing a 91 from the year 2000. That would be a good one to do. We could do that. See, we've got quite a few options. We've got the Mark IV DVT LNER. That's 140. So let's just go back again to where we were. Woodhead Line. Got 2 Woodhead lines. West Coast Main Line over Shap. That's the Windermere branch. Just the Windermere branch itself. Then on the final page we have got... what else we got? The West Coast Main Line Midlands and Northwest is from Alan Thompson. That's quite a nice little route. West Coast Main Line Northwestern Scotland. That joins... I think that goes from Preston to... Edinburgh and Glasgow. That's what lets you run all the way through. That's from Alan Thompson as well, or one of Alan Thompson's guys. Anyway, I've even got the Wigan to Southport line there, which was a freebie. So we got a few, options for future train nights. We don't just have to stick to TSW, so we can plan a few of those in. Yeah, there is a new HST. You're right, there is. And I haven't got that. Preston to Carlisle, says Animal. Do you want to do Preston to Carlisle? We could do that. You've not seen that before, have you? So yeah, we'll do a few of those because there's quite a bit of variety. And as you can see, I've not run them even myself yet. So I'll quite enjoy doing that. So, yeah, thanks for coming in. Hope you have enjoyed yourselves. It's been a good chat about Thomas, all sorts. Jam, marmalade, Yorkshire tea, you name it. We've covered it. And we also ran the Class 50, so what's not to like? I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming in. See you later.